Hi everyone, welcome to another webisode of The Good Doctor on eZeLiving.com. Today I'm in the company of Dr. Gordon Bland from the Health Bay Polyclinic, and today's topic of conversation is about chewable multivitamins for kids. Welcome to the program, Doctor.
Thanks for having me, yeah.
So let's talk about multivitamins, and first of all, what's in these packs?
Essentially, multivitamins, the aim with multivitamins is to give us a boost and a top-up for the vitamins that we would usually be getting from our everyday diet.
Okay, now what kind of children would require these multivitamins, these supplements that are external to, let's say, fruit and vegetables that they can typically have?
Generally speaking, I would suggest that most kids are going to get all the nutrition they need from a healthy diet. Kids that can benefit from multivitamins would be kids who, say, may be very fussy eaters. So we all, kids don't like eating vegetables generally. So in those children, the multivitamins can be very helpful to help just make sure that we're covering the bases, essentially.
So kids who are difficult when it comes to food, I can attest to this. I didn't like my broccolis when I was growing up.
Who did?
So if we can't get our children to have the fruits and vegetables that they require, this supplement plays a role.
It helps, yes, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
it helps to make us confident that they're getting what they need.
What about children who are ill?
Yep.
What about those? Would it benefit children who are ill?
It can do, yeah, definitely. That's the other group that we might look at it. Some kids are more sickly kids than others.
Right.
When we look at the averages, kids on average get sick about every 6 weeks.
Right.
So some kids are much more frequent than that, other kids are much less frequent than that. So for kids who get sick often, or who have other chronic conditions, like say diabetes or asthma or those sort of things, who might be more prone to illness, a multivitamin can be helpful because it just helps to really make sure that those kids are getting the optimum vitamin levels.
What about kids who have allergies? If they're allergic to certain fruits and vegetables, would these
they can be
play a
helpful.
role?
Yeah, again, if they can't eat certain foods,
Right.
then yes, that can help to make up for the shortfall that they might be getting.
So another question that comes to mind is, we're looking at these different packages, and they're all colorful, and they've got different designs, and in this case, they've got elephants and animals on them. It's great to, be attractive, to differentiate themselves on the shelf.
Yep.
But in all honesty, what should be in a good multivitamin pack, in your view?
Yeah, in my opinion, I mean, the range we've got here on the table are basically just different preparations of the same thing. There's a liquid base, there's a chewable version, there's tablets or gel caps, and that difference really depends on how your child wants to take them or will take them. For some older children, they can swallow tablets. For younger children, they may prefer chewing. For other kids, it might be easier as a liquid. So that's more the delivery vehicle. Then when we look at, well, what should be in them, generally we look at some minerals. And that's maybe things like our iron, calcium, zinc, magnesium, those sort of guys. And then we look at our B complex vitamins, are the important ones as well. Many of them will have things like vitamin C, vitamin D, those sort of guys. So those would be our general. It doesn't necessarily make for a better multivitamin if they have 1,000 products, 1,000 components within them.
I'm looking at this list here. And
it looks bewildering, doesn't it?
It is. I mean, for the average person, the average mom and dad that looks at this, I have no idea what a pantothenic acid is. And my guess is neither do you. So when they go through this list, it gets pretty difficult. It
can be. And I guess, again, we've got to remember that some of the product information on these boxes is mandated by legal requirements, and it is very useful, but it isn't necessarily meant to be, well, it's meant to give us an honest account of what's in the product, but it can be too technical for an everyday consumer. So it may be worth, and that's where I guess come back to have a talk to your doctor about what's the important thing for yourself. One of the useful things on this is they often will compare to what they call the RDI, or the recommended daily intake. And that way you can get an idea of, well, how much of this vitamin should I be getting, or is recommended that I get in a day, and what percentage is this product actually supplying my child. So that can be a useful thing to look at as well when you're looking at the boxes. But these can be complicated, and if you're confused, talk to your doc.
if you wanted to give a recommendation to our viewers, especially the moms and dads who are watching this webisode,
Sure.
what would that be?
It's a challenge. You can walk into most pharmacies nowadays and there are walls full of the very different vitamins, and it can be a real challenge.
Yeah.
What may be worthwhile, if you're not sure or if you're feeling bewildered, talk to your doctor. That's the simplest bit of advice I get. That's a bit cheeky, but get some advice.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for this insightful information. For all of our viewers, if you've got any thoughts, comments, or questions about this subject matter, do leave your comments below, and the Good Doctor will get back to you with the right answer. Thanks for watching The Good Doctor on eZeLiving.com, where you can find anything and everything lifestyle.